All right, hello, welcome back to the channel. So today we're gonna talk about how I was able to hit 50K on Upwork. So I've been freelancing for really on and off for like a couple of years, but I really started to do it seriously just in the last 8 months, really. So in the last 8 months, I would say, yeah, I've made about $50,000 on, well, I would say roughly like 40,000, well, more like 42, 43,000, because before I decided to take it seriously, I had already some activities and some clients on my Upwork account, but it was not really as many. It was just few marketing clients here and there, but it was nothing consistent. It was just very small project. So yeah, so I will say it was about, you know, for sure less than 45,000 that I have done this year. So before that, it was roughly 5,000, on and off. But then I had marketing clients outside of Upwork, that I had got through friends and family. And then yes, so on Upwork I was just pretty much getting either people that I knew, and then I wanted to just build my profile Upwork, so I directed the contract on Upwork, or it was just the random clients reaching out to me on the platform. But here in the last 8 months, I really started to build my Upwork profile, and having that marketing background, and also being a consultant in the government contracting space. I definitely started to put more work into building my profile up, because eventually I want to be able to do that full time. If I have enough clients, then I might consider that. And if I build up my business to a stage where I don't feel like I need a W-2, it might happen. So yeah, so then I started to take that seriously. So I will say in the last 8 months I made about 45 to $50,000 on Upwork. So yeah, or did I do that? Really starting to focusing on a very niche market, and then within that market really focalize on one specific service that I know. I had done enough research to know that there is demand in that specific space, because I have friends and I know few people that are in the space, and also I was in that space myself as well. So that's really how I was able to determine the need in that space, because I was in that space and I know that this is I knew what service was needed in that space. Now it's a very niche market, so there's not a lot of people in there, but once you're in there, once you really understand how that market work, you can really make yourself some good money. No, the downside of the market is there's not a lot of clients on Upwork that really need that service. But because you can go like a couple of days without even seeing any post on that any job post on that specific service. To really grow that up, you really have to look up for your own clients outside of Upwork, which is what we do at my company. So I created my own consulting firm. So we did develop our own client pipeline in order to be able to acquire more clients especially outside of Upwork. So yeah, so but then we're just gonna focus about Upwork for this video. So my service that I provide is in the government contracting space. So I'm a government contracting consultant. I help businesses pretty much do anything government contracting. Whether you need help with winning contracts, whether you need help with getting a certification, being approved to be a preferred vendor, pretty much anything. If you have a business and you provide services or you sell products, the government probably needs it. So this is where my business comes, and we pretty much help you navigate that whole thing. It's really doesn't matter where you are in the process, wherever you are, we take you from there. And really the end goal is always to win contract. So yeah, and that's kind of how I was able to differentiate myself. I'm not just being one person that only does one thing, because we provide a lot of services. We provide opportunity search, right? We also provide proposal writing, grant writing, consulting as far as developing strategies, and we also provide certification application, GSA application, project management when it comes to government contracts and all that stuff. So that variety of skill set really covers anything that a potential government contractor might need in their government contracting journey. So then, that was really the one I did learn government contracting. I did learn government contracting as a whole. So I learned all of those things, alone. I mean, by myself. Also, being in the industry, of course, I saw how few things worked. But then also, usually when you go, especially being in engineer by trade, when you go work for a company as an engineer, you only do one job, which is your technical job. Anything on the business side, you definitely now get to learn that. So yes, I did. I was already in that space, but I did not learn the business side of government contracting while working as an engineer. I did that outside of work, and then that's all I was able to really approach government contracting from a 360 view. And then this is all when talking to clients, they really appreciate that angle when talking to me. So then that's how I was able to get some of my first clients. And then of course, I started with giving very low pricing just because I wanted to prove myself. And then from there, I was able to perform well for my first client, which, well, it didn't directly go well. It was bad first, but then I was very open to feedback. And then I've got some feedback, and then I pretty much told my first client, I'm gonna be working for you until you are fully satisfied, until you are 100% satisfied. He understood that I was new on the platform, but I also understood that his budget was low, so I was okay with working on it with his low budget, as long as he was okay with, well, as long as he was okay with, me improving as we kept working together. Which, I mean, he thought he was gonna get big. He thought he was gonna get like a very good work all up front, but then eventually he realized that I was still very new on the platform. And then eventually, but I told him that I was really willing to work until he was 100% satisfied. So that's why I really kept him and I working until we accomplished. We did finish the first project, and he was very happy. He was very pleased because I had pretty much told him, we're now going to finish this project until you're fully satisfied. So then, I went to do more research, made sure I watched a lot of, well, not really videos, because there's not a lot of videos on what I was working on, but there's a lot of articles. So I was reading a lot and, doing a lot of research just to make sure that he was a very happy client. So yeah, so client satisfaction was my key to success in the early stage. I was not focused on the money. That money really came later on. I was really focused on client satisfaction. That's really what led me to the next client, and to the next client, to the next client. And then, when my profile started to get some traction, because I got a lot of nice reviews, then that's really all I started to increase my pricing. And when it comes to my pricing, the reason why I was able to get to $50,000 so quick, it's because as soon as I realized that I knew what I was doing, I started to charge a little bit more. But then I also made sure that I didn't charge too much, because if you start too much, then you're gonna not gonna have a lot of people. So clients they're always on the budget. You have to have the ability to understand your client's budget. And to be honest, I don't charge the same price for all clients. That's just, I know it might not sound fair, which is true, but at the same time, I mean, I work with small businesses that are literally just one guy, but then I also work with companies that have like thousands of 10,000 of employees. So I mean, the budgets are just not going to be the same. So I'm not going to be charging that big company the same price as the little company that I work with. So I do understand that. That's kind of what makes me as a small business special when it comes to working with all the small businesses, right? So I can really come down to the level and work with the budget. Not always. So sometimes it doesn't work out. If it's very low, it doesn't work out. But a lot of times, if they understand the value, as long as they understand the value that I provide, they're usually willing to meet me somewhere, and then we go from there. And then they're really happy, and then they keep coming back, and so on. So yeah, so you're gonna see I have a lot of repeat customers or long contracts on my profile, because once they like what I do, then they want to just keep working together. Or once they see that we start winning contract, then they just, of course, once you start winning contract with a client, they're just gonna keep working with you. That's kind of just the nature of that business, because it's very hard to win in that space. So once you win once, the client's very, very happy. So yeah, so really the key to my success there was really client satisfaction, low pricing. I know a lot of people say not to do low pricing. That's fine. I'm just telling you what I did. Client satisfaction was number one, low pricing as well. From there, it was kept my pricing low, kept focused on client satisfaction for the first couple of clients, and then from there, I was able to slowly increase my rate, and then now I've pretty much got to the rate where, it really depends on the contract, but right now my minimum is $30 an hour, but really that's just the minimum, right? But really I go up to $100 an hour depending on the contract, but that's on Upwork, right? That's why, Upwork is very competitive. There's a lot of other freelancers out there that you have to compete with. But that's why I also have my own marketing pipelines where we acquire customer outside of Upwork. That way, there we have more flexibility on how much we can charge, because we pretty much once we get the customer on the phone, we're not competing with anybody. As long as we can convince him that we can provide value, then they're open to pay what the price we tell them to pay. So yeah, but it's very important to build up a reputation on Upwork. That way, it's good exposure for your business too. Plus, you don't really spend a lot of marketing dollars there. But yeah, so Upwork is definitely has been a good platform for our business to really help us acquire some of our clients there, to be able to get started. But definitively, we will continue to have a presence there as long as the platform keeps working with us. So yeah, and let me know how far you are in your journey, and and now every service is equal. You have to understand it. When it comes to Upwork, if you go into a service that has a lot of competition, then of course you're gonna see, or your pricing may have to be lower. But if you go into a very specialized field, that is a little bit more difficult than the average one, then you're probably gonna see that you can be charging a little bit more. So yeah, so all your price is really depends on the industry that you are in, your market, and what clients are really willing to pay. So, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, you share.